In today's episode, James and I discuss a pivotal question in many marriages across the world today. Can two walk together unless they agree? Join in on the conversation and hear our point of view on marriages and walking together. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Heart check 1 2 1. I'm locked in. I am locked in. I am locked in.
Yeah.
Heart check 1 2 1 2.
You're now tuned into Led from the Heart podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Jessica.
When it comes to the matters of the heart, everyone has an opinion, but very few have the answer.
That's why we curated this podcast. It's time to elevate the narrative one story at a time.
So each week, we'll take an inclusive, unbiased look at matters of the heart. We'll be speaking our truth into a world that is seldomly mentioned among the Black community, growing through healing, trauma, marriage, love, and spirituality.
Pull up on us and get ready for a heart check.
Peace.
Hey there, baby.
Hey.
No. Or should I say, James? You said when girls like a boy, they say their name a little differently. James.
Yeah.
Today, I think our conversation is one that needs to be had because I came across this scripture, Amos 3:3, and when I read it and saw the context in which it was written, I saw the scripture differently from when I've heard it over the years past. And Amos 3:3, every time I hear it, can two walk together unless they agree? Unless they are agreed, depending on which version you read. And then I like how the Message Bible puts it so plainly by saying, do two walk hand in hand if they aren't going to the same place? I was thinking, every time I hear this, I hear it from the context of marriages, relationships. That could be with families, that could be with friends, any kind of relationship in which you have. And I wanted us to discuss this because somebody out there listening in may think that I've heard this too. And there have been plenty of relationships that I've endured that we did not agree on everything. So does that mean that we can't walk together? We can't pursue life together because we have disagreements? So I just wanted us to bring this to the table to talk about it.
To the forefront.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say it.
I switched it up.
Okay, to the table.
Yeah.
You bought a table.
I brought a table. Pull up. But for many of you who have not had a moment to read Amos 3:3, that scripture, and to
It's in the Bible, by
yeah,
the way.
it is in the Bible. But if you haven't had a chance to read it to understand the context behind it, just to give you a little history, what's happening here in Amos 3 is the logics of God's judgment on the children of Israel. He has time and time again, years over years over years, used his prophets to prophesy what will be, and years over years over years, the children of Israel have turned a deaf ear to God's word. And God is saying, like, you are the only people I've known. Like, and because of that, you are going to face your responsibility and judgment for which your actions have now caused, the consequences of your actions. And here he just shifts by casting judgment not only on them, but now like all the families of
Right.
the earth. You know, that's how great your responsibility, like all you had to do was this one thing, and I've given you chance after chance. I've tried in every way, whatever form possible, to help you see the kind of love I have for you and in the direction in which I'm pointing you to go, and yet you still found your way in your own time to do the things you want to do. And so now he's came here to Amos 3:3, and he, in this section, if you even read down to verse 7, he's connecting these 6 statements that were obviously true. They're rhetorical questions that he's leading into his 7th statement, which all are just reinforcing the final point of what's taking place. And the inevitable message of the prophet is that, listen, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and it's not going to be any secrets behind it. And when I do it, you're going to know it was my hand that did it. If I've spoken it, it's going to take place. But if you take the time to read those things, but the focus today is verse 3, can two walk together unless they are agreed? And this was a rhetorical question that was proclaimed here in Amos, and the children of Israel were not walking together with God. Neither were they agreeing with him. And how do we know they weren't agreeing with him? Because they weren't walking with him.
Right.
Their actions did not look like that which he had already ordained for them. He had already paved the way for them.
Right.
And every time he looked up on his GPS, they were in a different location than what he had mapped out.
Absolutely.
And so he's pretty much, in a nutshell, he's just saying, listen, y'all can't go where I'm going. You can't receive what I receive. What I have for you. You can't obtain these promises because you don't even agree with my word. You don't even align with what I've already proclaimed.
Right.
So I just wanted to give that backstory because I didn't know personally that's how this scripture originated. I always thought it had something to do more so with just marriages or relationships.
Well, it is.
It does. It reflects that, but I thought its original context was in terms of man and man. I didn't know this was God speaking in here about the children of Israel and everything that had taken place, and him rhetorically asking this question. And of course, our relationships are a reflection to his, but I just didn't know the backstory behind it.
Right.
So now go ahead. My question to you
you're fine.
is, can two people walk together unless they are agreed? When I hear that, or if I read it, just let me read it back from the Message Bible, because that Bible spoke very plain to me. Okay. Do people walk hand in hand if they aren't going to the same location or the same places? What it said.
Can people walk hand in hand if they're not going to the same location?
Yeah.
Right. Of course they can't. Right.
I'm going to point A. You're going to point B.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for us to walk hand in hand. They're different directions.
Right.
They're on opposite paths. So I guess my thing was, when I've always heard this, I've wondered, are you saying that two people who are either in relationship in terms of marriage with one another, or family members, or in friendship with one another, if they don't agree, that they can't walk together? And if that is so, why have I always heard the term that let's just agree to disagree?
Well, let's just agree to disagree is a kind way of saying you go your way and I'm gonna go mine. That is a cowardly way to just. Cowardly might be a little too much. That's a passive way. Well, we'll just agree to disagree. No, you just want to do it your way.
Or is it that it's not necessarily I want to do it my way? Yes, but I know my way is the right way.
Yeah.
Or is it that just more so my way is the right way for me during this time of my life?
Well, see, we're talking about a relationship. So
Yeah.
if you're saying that we're going to just agree to disagree and we are together, then that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure this out because we're going in two different directions.
So what happens in many relationships is that they get to this place where I'm just going to agree to disagree, and you've done enough of those where now you have these underlining issues that are sprouting up like weeds and choking off your flowers life supply of water and everything else that they're trying to get, and you're wondering, how did my garden get to the place of looking like this?
Right.
Because you've agreed to disagree. You never dealt with the
issue.
The issue.
Yeah. You like I say, it's a coward move. I agree to disagree. Because I don't like arguing. I don't like conflict. I'm uncomfortable, but yet I'm uncomfortable when it is that you're trying to oppose your will on me, and I don't agree with it. So since I'm uncomfortable with that, we all gonna be uncomfortable. You feel me? Like, I'm gonna go ahead and just lay it all out here on the line. I'm not in agreement with this. I ain't doing it. I'm not gonna agree to disagree. It's just I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have a hard time just meeting the issue head on. Like, well, no, I can't give that because
you can give one of our personal issues, because I mean, we're talking about marriage, and I can say that you have always been the type in our marriage, if there's a disagreement, where you want to talk about it. You want to talk about it over and over and over again until you get to a place of settlement in your heart that you're at peace with it and ready to move on. And me, on the other hand, I'm like, can we just talk about this once and be done with it? And right. I'm the one ready to move on, and that has been I would say a hurdle for me to get over. And I don't know if it's more so something attached to my past, my upbringing, how issues were handled before, but I don't think I've ever really had real issues until more so getting into marriage. You realize that you really gotta work things out. You gotta talk things out. This is a person that you have you're committed to doing life with. And if you're like my husband, men out there who know what kind of household and know what kind of environment you like he always talks about being the master of his environment. He knows what he wants to see this marriage looks like. He's very strong-willed on his opinion and thoughts, and when something doesn't sit right or feel right, he speaks up about it. So there.
Yeah, I speak up about it until I'm done talking about it, and now I'm ready to because you don't understand what I'm talking about. So now I say I'm going to have to show you. You know, no, and I'm not talking about physical. I'm saying we're talking about it. You don't get it. Okay, I'm going to show you. What I'm saying is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect myself from you.
But you can't do that in a marriage.
Oh, like, no. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about a marriage. Okay. In a marriage, if we don't agree, then that's why I continue to do it. Like, I want to understand you. I want to understand you.
Yeah.
I understand why I feel this way. I want to understand why you feel this way. And oftentimes, like you just stated, I guess when you begin to think about why and you begin to unpack or begin to cipher through all the baggage, you begin to move some things around like, oh, and you discover, oh, I'm getting close to it. Okay, no. All right, shut it. Close it. Let it go. Because I'm getting close to something I don't even want to get close to. I want to keep that buried down. Leave it alone. Right? And I'm like, nah, what is in there? Because whatever's in there is the reason why we're having this conflict. Because I'm willing to be open about why I feel this way. You know?
And what I've noticed in our time of being married is that some of the time I don't even, like, you're asking me questions and we're obviously at opposite sides of the field in our processing the thoughts and how our perspectives and how we see that particular situation. And it's hard for me to understand it from your point of view because I haven't lived your life to see the things that you've seen. And then you on the other hand, you find it hard to see it from mine.
No, I don't.
Because you would be like, how does that make sense, Jessica? And in my head, it makes sense. But to you, it doesn't at all.
No, I understand why you're thinking that way when I ask, how does it make sense to you? Mm-hmm. I understand why you're thinking that way. But I'm trying to get you to eventually see that through the lens that you're looking at. I'm trying to get you to see that the lens that you're looking through is foggy. Okay, so how did you see it like that? Why you see it like that? Well, why are you thinking like that? And of course we were raised differently, but that's a cop out because if you understand right, it's the same way. Right is dressed the same way in this house as it should be in that house. And
unfortunately, that's not always
the case. That's because many of us are looking through two different lenses.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't see it clearly. It's just that you refuse to take the lenses off and clean them.
So,
and not just you, I'm just talking about people in general.
So I think about married people who are coming together to merge into this one, never have lived together, so don't really understand this person ways compared to that person ways. And you come in with this whole picture or movie, if you will, of how marriage life is supposed to go. And then you find out that, I've been raised to think that we're supposed to share the household chores. And then you have your spouse who's saying, no, I've been raised that maybe you're supposed to do them chores, or
right.
You know, who's to say what is right in that particular way? That's just the way you've been raised. And so then saying that, okay, now this is something that we do not agree on. How can we meet on a common ground where we both agree to make this look like what we as a couple, as a marriage, want it to look not like, and not what we've been told it's supposed to look like?
Right. Now, have you seen any growth in that?
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Right. I've grown. Now granted, I cleaned my room at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
It might not have been clean to my mom's liking, but it was clean.
Mm-hmm.
It was clean.
Mom should get the cleanest.
Let it go. So, 'cause your words, boy, she's still trying to put it together.
The
All right.
cleanest woman of work.
Wow, that was a word that we all knew. Okay. I do, and now I've grown to see that in marriage, and it took justice being born, I realized that there are no gender roles when it comes to a marriage, a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of relationships don't even get off the ground and get to the intersection to get married,
I'd agree.
because they're stuck on the gender roles.
Right.
And so it took justice being born for me to see that it was nothing wrong with me carrying your bag, pocketbook, the diaper bag, the baby. It was nothing wrong with me changing her diapers,
Mm-hmm.
giving her a bath.
Mm-hmm.
It was because in my mind I'm like, okay, I guess, if we have a little boy, I get a little boy a bath. A little girl, she'll give a little girl. That was, and for the longest I was uncomfortable with even changing her, because I just felt like a woman should do this. Right. And so after her coming into our world and we entering into hers, I'm like, okay, there's no gender roles when it comes to love.
Right.
I don't like cleaning poop. But and for a while I was, hey, yo, she got one for you.
Yeah.
Right. But if you at work, or if you've gone to the store, whatever, then I have to fill in. If you're not feeling well, because you went down for a little second, couple of days or whatever, I had to fill in. Now I couldn't supply any breast milk,
right,
but I made her eat that bottle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've grown, and even though I don't get credit for, like, every now and then washing the dishes or cleaning the bathroom,
Man,
when I do,
you get credit for
and
washing
you don't
those
even
dishes.
you don't even realize I've done
I
it.
do.
No, you don't. You
I'm
don't say
like,
anything. You don't say anything.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
No,
saying
and I'm fine. I don't mind. You not saying anything. But I be wondering. I'm like, I don't wonder if she gonna see. Yeah, I realize that now, after justice, that in a relationship, that there are no gender roles, and it took her to come in, because I realized that you can't do all that.
And that's 7 years of marriage before justice got here. Because
You were doing it.
When you think about gender roles, I came in.
You were doing it, though.
Listen, I came in thinking, based off of what I saw my grandfather do, that you were supposed to be the one taking out the trash. Papa always washed the clothes for everybody.
I take out the trash.
I know, but you ain't washed my clothes. Shoot. You didn't even wash yours. And I
shout out to Papa.
And and then
but
then I just pictured, based off of movies, that you would be in the kitchen with me, helping me. I'm over here cutting onions, you mixing whatever. I thought we'd just be like cooking food, dinner together at night. But that was something that came into the marriage not necessarily knowing, and had to come to a common ground where I had to disregard what my perspective was and you did as well, and we came to a happy medium because I wasn't the cook that I don't know, maybe you thought I was.
I knew you wasn't a cook.
Okay. But I wasn't the
But
cook.
I knew that was something that, we could eventually get to, because you were willing to learn.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to learn, then you're willing to earn.
And you were willing to say, you know what? I'm going to get food from this place or that place on the weekends or whatever day, on days you don't cook.
Yeah.
And don't expect me to go in the kitchen to cook, but I'll go get the food and bring it home already cooked.
Yeah. I felt like that was a good median. Hand me that over there.
So with that, like us, I'm gonna cut that out. Man.
Oh my gosh.
So somebody's saying, well, it sounds like two can walk together if they disagree. But what you guys are saying is that we have to get to a place of agreeing in order to pursue the walk.
It's in a parable. Isaiah said, come, let us reason together.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that's willing to reason is willing to stay with you. Once you're done compromising, reasoning, it's over. You're going to be in the living room, and I'm going to be in the man cave. And that's how the relationship will function.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be together 49 years. They've been together 50 years. And now when we out, we in the car together.
Mm-hmm.
When we in whatever event, we together. We look good. Everybody smiling, what they don't know is, we haven't said anything to each other in about 41 years. And it just works for us because you upstairs, I'm in my room. My people come down, your people go, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a house that's divided.
Mm.
And that relationship doesn't grow. They're just like the people in church, complain like hell but won't leave. And they're doing it for the sake of, oh, I made this vow.
Yeah.
Oh, God wants you to be happy.
But I think one thing they fail to realize when you think about this scripture and you think about God's relationship with man, when he created us, Adam and Eve, they were walking together with God.
Right.
They were hand in hand with God.
Right.
And then along the journey became a variance. That was, of course, Satan when he got into the head of Eve, and then she got into the head of Adam. And everybody just partaked in the forbidden fruit and went on from there. But became the variance, or if you think about just a road, what are these things called? A median.
Mm.
And these two individuals, which were hand in hand because of that median, branched out along two different roads. But God, in his persistence and his love and power, continued to pursue relationship with us despite how far distance we became. And in doing so, he ultimately restored that through the reconciliation with Jesus Christ coming back. So if you look at that relationship, I think we would have less divorces here in the U.S. and the world in general if we had people who were persistent in getting back to that hand-in-hand walk,
mm-hmm.
that love that was once initiated in the beginning, that spark, that thing that you couldn't wait to get home, to call up on the phone, that you stayed up hours throughout the night, even if you were asleep, just breathing on the phone. As long as you woke up and you still heard the person breathing, you were good. The person, you couldn't wait to take a break or go on lunch and talk. If we could get back to those spaces and those places and relationships with those individual people, we would see more people in love and happy.
I mean, and the reason why you don't see that or it fades away is because of the others. You know, we are in this relationship. You know,
saying two.
just two, right?
Yeah.
Two cannot walk together except they agree. Now here we are in a relationship, just two. But then we have the weight of others, right? Like, we love each other. We want to be in that space, in that place, always. But every form of weapon that every weapon that is formed to attack that relationship, that union, it causes like the two to sort of like get weary.
It's friction.
Right. Right. And it's not always the others. Sometimes, well, it's based upon the circumstance. Let me put it this way: it's based upon the circumstance. There are some couples who are just as in love with one another as they were in the beginning, right? But it had everything to do with the commitment that they had from with themselves, and also the support from others. But when you're trying to have a successful relationship with your spouse, and everything can be good in here, but I'm talking about the others and them bringing things to this relationship.
I would say
and
influences is what you're
right. That causes the tension.
So sometimes it's unintentional. You could just be with a group of friends and you be the couple talking and bring up breakfast, and you like, yeah, my wife cooks for me every Saturday. I got grits, eggs, bacon, waffles, whatever I want.
Right.
And then you look
and
over
then
and
on
say,
the way home,
y'all, no, we don't get breakfast.
yeah.
You know?
And then the next morning, or a conversation, something is said, and it comes up, and it was all because of this. Or you have someone in his ear telling him, man, you need to come on outside, man. Now y'all married, and they want you to come outside and play, hang out. You know what I'm saying? And then, because of your ego, oh man, he got to be in the house by 7. She gonna, and I'm stay at 12.
Yeah.
And it's things that you're not. You don't normally do those things, and then all of a sudden you're not, your key is not turning at a certain time, and I need to figure out why all of a sudden your moves are different. Is those things, man, that just cause that relationship to become so weighty. Family, friends, Facebook, Instagram, where you got women and even men who are on there, and they're looking at other folk and their lifestyles, and they're on there and they're so inspirational, and they're telling you can do it too, man. You just need, it's all about you. It's all about, and you married now. It's all about you, and it's hot girl summer. It's hot butt summer. It's hot. It's hot winter summer. It's hoochie mama winter. It's hot butt summer. We at that bad. Buns out, sun out. Yeah, we having fun. And I'm living my life. Yeah, I'm doing what I want to do. I thought we was married.
Yeah, and that's where the disagreement, the variance comes in at. Now,
yeah,
you're wanting to have the status of
Yeah.
being someone married, but you want to be able to live life as if you're single. And that's the thing about marriage is me coming into this relationship with understanding that our foundation is love. And so everything that I do, all of my actions should reflect love.
Right.
I I not only am I saying I love you, what I do should look like I love you.
Mm.
So when I was single, I did things as a single woman.
Right.
I went out with my buns out in the sun for everybody to see because I'm single. I'm trying to catch some, you know.
Right.
But what am I trying to catch when what I have is at home?
My man say, you can always tell when Toya's single. I said, yeah. I said, Kay, how you know? I mean, you can always tell, man. Just get on her Facebook page. Look at her Facebook. Go to the story. He said, go to the story where you see me and Bay. I went and saw the story of me and Bay. She had the beach. She got the bathing suit on, the 2-piece, like with panties, look like panties. Just or she got the onesie joint on.
Yeah.
You know, she looked good. She's still sexy. You know what I'm saying? You know, nice figure and everything, beautiful girl, you know, pretty eyes. So you go to the other story.
A few months down.
And that the caption on that one, you said that the old one said me and Bay, and this one right here say hot butt summer. It's hot butt summer on this one. You click that one, boy. I'm talking about all you hear is
bikini.
Put the in the face, put the in his face, put it in his face. Got the thong on. Oh God! I know you. I know you. Whoever they took you back.
The freakum dress is what Beyonce called it.
They took you back. It was a recall on you. It was a recall on you. He said, I can't deal with this no more.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, man, she's single.
Then flip it over on the other side. You got dudes like they feeling a little bit like Usher. You ain't got to call. It's okay, girl. Cause I'm gonna be all right tonight.
Yeah, Usher was in his feelings. That was low key. He was really pissed, but he came up with a song that kind of made the situation feel a little good. But he was really hurt. Cause I mean, you think about the song.
Yeah.
You know.
You ain't got to call.
Situation.
He wanted that call. He wanted that call.
That was a real sad song. It was just on a good upbeat.
But you gotta be what? Was it strong about it? You know I'm bad with lyrics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll arise.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a real sad song. He just made it upbeat.
And that's an obvious illustration of two not walking together. When a situation arises, what happens is that we find ourselves going our separate ways, reverting back to our old selves, doing things the way we used to do them before you came along.
Mm.
It's me, myself, and I.
Yeah, and so, when we look at the whole narrative, you have to, it boils down to being who's going to be the lowest, who's going to humble themselves, who's going to be the lowest, not the highest, not who's the biggest, not who's the high, who's the lowest one in the room.
You as a spouse, and I'm not talking about you, babe, I'm just talking about those listening in. Like, you can't always be waiting for your spouse to be the lowest one. You done messed up some things and you just I'm gonna stay here. I know they gonna come around. Like, cause really
right.
that wears down on, if I'm just gonna compare it to like cars, that wears down on the wheels of an individual person. And what happens when that car no longer has good tires to tread on?
It's gonna be a slippery slope.
So So I mean, if we're looking to still be able to pursue moving forward in a marriage, even in times of disagreement, we have to get to a place, a mindset. That's what I'm talking about when I say a place, a mindset that I'm going to move forward in love, even in this discomfort of a situation, and
But
talk this out.
Right.
So that we can come
Right.
to an understanding
Right.
amongst ourselves,
Right.
even if nobody else understands.
Right. You're gonna be uncomfortable regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's if there's something going on and you don't say nothing and it continues to go on, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if you decide to say something, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But at least when you say what you say, when you say it, whoever's been listening to whatever it is that you're saying, they understand where it is you're coming from.
Right.
And then you can govern yourself accordingly after that. Okay, you don't understand. All right, well, I'm going to hold my foot right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold it right here.
I remember a time that you had a discussion. We were talking about traveling. And if any of y'all like me, look, we got our besties, okay? We got our girls that we love to hang out with. And we wanted to plan a besties trip. But the location in which we were going, my husband and I discussed, and he said, well, me and you haven't even went there yet. And I could have been in my feelings and been like, well, then I guess let's plan a trip later. But me and my best friends want to go here first. Like I could have stayed put in that mindset, or I could have done what I did, which was submitted to his. It's not even a concern. It was to his. What was that? What is, it's not, is an opinion? What would that be? You saying like, we haven't even traveled here yet. Like your thing is like, especially when it comes to traveling abroad.
No, I guess cause I was looking at something, but I was listening the whole time. It boils down to like, who's your real best friend now? I mean, we gonna travel over here with my besties. Nigga, I'm your best friend now. Like, we ain't even been, and I'm your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they ain't doing for you what I'm doing.
Right.
How are they your best friend now? They're subs. They're actually subs now. They're subs. You know? So yeah, we haven't even gone. Like, we haven't even done. We took Justice to the beach.
Yeah.
A couple of months after, or weeks after she got home, right? Months, all right. Yeah, so, I'd be damned if I let somebody else take her to the beach before us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You want her first.
It's gonna be with us.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I and hey. I can't even. I don't even know why it's like that with me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do know why, because I just want. I want to be you. Like, we should be able to do that for her.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? The first, she should understand it first, coming from us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is our responsibility. We're gonna be the first ones to do this for her. Right? I mean, I don't care if we just go down there for a day,
yeah,
and come back. We did it, but we did it for a week.
Yeah, that was real nice.
Yeah.
So not always agreeing. We can be in a place where we don't always agree, or maybe I'm saying this wrong. But I'm going to say it anyway. We can be in a place where we don't always agree, but it can work out if we keep moving forward. Did I say that wrong?
It can work out if we keep moving forward. The only way we can continue to move forward is to address the situation.
Yeah.
Listen, the world that we're living in is still spinning its wheel. We haven't gotten. Okay, yeah, there are some things new. Look, they woo us. They woo us with all this technology. All of it, what's going on, is all a distraction. Well, at the same time, racism, sexism, gun violence, police brutality, black on black crime, drugs, manipulate, all of it. We don't address it.
And one of the most prominent issues to date is the Roe versus Wade being overturned. You have those in leadership, Supreme Court justice, who do not agree with it, overturned it, and you have the majority of the world saying pro-choice, which yet the United States is still saying, look, we're moving on whether y'all agree or not. So are we really moving forward, or are we just at a standstill where, and I get it, there's going to be laws and things of that nature that are put out there that everybody's not going to come to an agreement on. But when it touches the specifics of a certain gender, women in particular, wanting to do whatever they want to do to their bodies, they should have that option and that choice. But if you don't agree with it, then put up some stipulation. Maybe you shouldn't be able to use abortion as a means of birth control. Get you some birth control.
Mm-hmm.
But for those women who are having medical issues and situations, yes, it's there for you. For those women who messed up, they knew what they were doing when they were doing it and ended up with the consequence that they weren't intended to end up with, but they did. And they decided, you know what, this is not the route that I want to go. Let them be able to make that decision. But yes, I feel like there should be some means of a give and take. But, the United States is really big on me setting something in place and y'all just having to follow.
Yeah.
And like
slavery.
Yeah, that's one thing that is always danced around. Don't want to address it, get down to the root of it. And yet we still move on. And that's how we end up back.
And two can't walk together except they agree.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so much turmoil.
Yeah.
Because you're just, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, that's it. And then you got another group of people who are saying, no, we're not going to let that ride. Next, you'll be coming into the house. You have a key to my house.
And I want to say I saw this somewhere on social media, and I cannot remember which president had said this initially a long time ago, but said that they thought that the Constitution should be revisited every 20 years so you don't allow dead men to rule. I'm misquoting this, I'm pretty sure, but you don't allow dead men to rule your now present choices and decisions. So that's what we're stuck with. We have people of an old mindset, an old way of living, things that may have quote unquote worked for them then.
It's still working for them because it's favoring them.
But it does nothing for the new time that we're in.
Because we're still pressing for equality. And I was talking to a group of guys at the cigar lounge, and somehow we didn't get on this conversation, but we got on we got on this particular topic that we're just talking about.
Walking together?
No.
Okay.
Talking about Wade and all that, right? And, my comment was, it was better, I believe, when we were all segregated. It was a quote that was sent to me by a partner of mine on Twitter, where Dr. King was sitting there with his hand in his head, and he said, I believe I've just sent and ran my people into a burning building when he was fighting for integration, for us to come together, because he knew then that this day was going to come. But when we were segregated with one another, we had to reason together. But now we don't have to reason with these niggas. I'm gonna leave the hood and I'm gonna build myself up. I'm gonna get my money right, and I'm gonna move to a gated community on a golf course right beside my ancestors' descendants. Right beside my ancestors' slave owner descendants. I'm gonna go out there with them and pay HOA fees and feel as if I've arrived, and don't do nothing for your community. You're not helping. They have you believing that you're one of them. Because they've already told us this is what success looks like if you live in this house. This is what success looks like if you drive in this car. This is what success looks like when you wear your hair straight like a white woman. This is what success looks like when you don't mind giving up your body. Rich white man gonna pay you, gonna take care of you well. That's not it. Because when you go back and look at I was watching on Hulu documentary done by my man Russell Westbrook. He did the documentary on Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the group of black men and women who came together and made that city great.
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, and it was a whole community, black folk, Negroes, professionals. They had schools, and you gotta check it out. It's on Hulu. They had built a community, and they were working together. Yes, they had problems. Yes, they had issues. Yes, there were some things going on, but I guarantee you there were a group of men and women who were able to bring those hierarchies together to see to that whatever turmoil they had, that it was taken care of. It was completed. You know what I mean? Just like even now in North Carolina, there are like a group of white men who just sit around and come up with these rules. You know what I mean? Like for real, that it's not those 12 that they have sitting up there at the desk and making all. Man, it's a handful of people coming up with these. We've been in 2 different churches. We know that it's like 2 or 3 people who are really making all the calls.
Yeah.
These other boards, these other hands, these other people, they're just distractions.
And those are the people that don't mind getting dirty.
They're the gloves. They're the gloves. They're the ones that get the dirt on them while they sit back and look. They don't even know who gonna win. You done set the margin up. You created the spread, the money line. You put all that together. You know how it's going. It's favoring me. It's favoring me, but we know where it's coming back to.
Yeah.
We know what it's coming back to. And it's gonna take us. It's gonna take us getting it right locally, though. You feel me?
And your passiveness is not your agreement.
Yeah, if I don't give you an answer, y'all leave me out of it. That don't mean
That's not your agreement. If anything, that's you going against the grain. You not saying anything is you in disagreement.
Right. Right. Or in agreement.
Yeah,
or in agreement.
depending on which.
Look, the
when-
woman that was brought to Jesus,
Mhm.
caught in the middle of adultery. Why didn't the man say, "Wait, man, she wasn't"? What you mean? He wasn't
He wasn't trying to be
right. He wasn't gonna come forward. That's your people.
Y'all, so here we've discussed it. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Can two walk together if they do not agree? You've heard our side of it.
They can walk together. They just not going in the same direction.
They can walk together. They not walking hand in hand.
No.
Maybe
At some point they gonna veer off.
disperse.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they can walk together for a while.
For a while.
Yeah, a season. Think about relationships. I was walking with her up until she asked me one night, "What we doing?" I thought we were gonna do it. We ain't doing it until I find out what I am to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna go home and sleep on it, and I'll call you in the morning and let you know who you are to me. And then when 3 years later you find me with somebody else, I'm still sleep on it, trying to figure it out.
No, I feel you on that.
The minute you'll know. Y'all are walking together.
So leave some comments. Share this with somebody who you think it may benefit. You know, this is a heart matter. This is something that
Hey, if you want to know if y'all really walking together,
yeah,
you know, text them. Text them and say and this is whether you can look at it from a relationship between a man and a woman, or just, homegirl, homeboy, right? Just text them and say, "I need a big favor," and see how fast they respond.
But when you said that, I thought
Can you
about,
do me a huge favor?
like, you've asked me. I thought I was gonna close this up, but I'm gonna go back into it real quick. You've asked me before, not once, not twice, but a few times, like, if I thought we were moving in the same direction.
Right.
And I wasn't sure why you even asked me that, because I was thinking, like, yeah, we married. I mean, what do you mean? Are we moving in the right direction? And
no, in the same direction.
in the same direction. And tell them from your standpoint, like, what your thought process was when you asked that question. What made you ask that question?
That was our discussion.
I know, but you don't have to get, like, so detailed, but, like, for men to, or women who are in a marriage, if they're thinking maybe more so like me, like, yeah, we've been moving in the same direction, what to look for to notice, oh, we might be in the beginning stages of going two different ways.
What to look for? Focus.
Mm-hmm.
Focus. Like, where's your focus at?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you focus on this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one spouse might be concerned about the financial well-being of the family, and the other one's more concerned about buying new stuff.
Right.
Those two different focuses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I believe we're not going in the same direction. I'm trying to get it in, and you busy trying to lounce it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, you can be passive and be uncomfortable and not say anything and just be miserable and bitter and uncomfortable, or you can just be uncomfortable and say what you need to say and fix it. And it could be it could be that they are unaware of their focus.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is just, hey man, you're supposed to be over here.
Mm-hmm.
Not over there. I'm gonna take care of this. This is what I'm asking you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you got like, so in relationships, things happen, and men especially, we feel as if we've been called to pay the mortgage. We've been called to take care of the insurance and all of those things.
Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone
Yeah.
bill?
And guess what? You can. You can. You can. And you feel like a man when you can. But hey, to everything there's a season, and sometimes in the midst of rebranding, when God places his hand on you to remodel and rebrand you, we never know what those challenges look like. And how you're gonna deal with them is vital to how long you're gonna stay down in the valley.
Yeah.
You dig? So, you're here, and things are no longer the way they used to be, and you're having a hard time dealing with those things. Oh, I'm sorry. You're having a hard time dealing with all of those things, and God, that's just God's way of just showing you who's around you. And it's good to see every now and then, who's around you. It's not about, people say, well, I got to cut the grass back, so that I can see the snakes. Say I got to cut the grass back. That's a terminology that they use. But God has a way to fade everything out and get you to focus and see who's around you as he begins to rebrand and rebuild you. And it's just, I'm learning myself that it's all right. Is all right. Now, does it feel good? No, it doesn't always feel good. It doesn't feel good. But you and I have to believe.
I don't even know if it ever feels good.
Well, no,
to be stretched, and
it does. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. It's supposed to. I mean, you just think about it when you stretching your muscles after working out. Like, it's supposed to be that warm down time, where everything is just coming together. So, yeah, but it doesn't. To the flesh, it doesn't. It doesn't. But we fail to realize that, like, down times are made or presented to preserve. This is a marathon, and you trying to run it like a sprint, man. You're gonna be, by the time you 50, you're gonna be looking 89.
Listen, marriage is a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. And we spend so much time trying to, like, I gotta get it. I gotta da. And it's just that whole marketing scam of Facebook and Instagram and all that. That's just to get you out here to, I gotta make it happen. Cause you on here, you looking at, man, they posting pictures and taking this vacation and they got money up to their ear. Hello?
Yeah.
Talking to dead presidents. And you like, man, I gotta get out here and do the same thing. And it's not happening. And you mad as hell.
Yeah.
And you take your frustration out on just, the people that are actually, those that actually love you. Because the people on these platforms, they don't care. They doing their own thing. They branding, they selling whatever they can sell, image, influence. Hey, it is what it is. But, in order for that relationship to grow, it's about the both of you coming together and someone deciding to be the most submissive partner.
And I've learned to be better as we both continue to grow in this marriage by bettering my relationship with God and the way that I walk with Him, because that becomes a reflection of how I walk with you.
Mm-hmm.
And not looking at you as just my spouse, somebody I chose to be with, but yet a gift that God has gifted me with. And even beyond that, I told you the best thing that I could have done for my daughter, justice. Like you are an awesome father. So looking at it past just, oh, this is my husband, but looking at you as something far more greater makes me want to be better and do better. So that when we do walk, when God does look down, He not only sees me taking care of everything else that I want in abundance, as we talked about in the last episode, but He also sees me taking care of this marriage, which this is what He cherishes, this union.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah, and you are a wonderful mother too. Yeah, I take my hat off to you.
So glad. Sometimes I be wondering myself, should I be doing more? Should I, moms, have y'all, that's a whole nother episode.
You get on my nerves with that, trying to figure like what you gonna be doing, like, chill out, you know. Well, I know we all have our own timetable when we supposed to arrive to the top of the mountain, but it's a marathon. It is a marathon, and if you continue to run it like a sprint, then that's all life will ever be for you. It's just everything will be real quick. It'll come and go, come and go. I believe our journey is built. I believe our course has been created to build the character and integrity that we're both growing into for the long haul, longevity. Everybody want to be that voice right now.
Right.
So if everybody is the voice for right now, who's going to be the voice for the future?
You have just now tuned in to Led from the Heart podcast with your favorite hosts, James and Jessica. Go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button. Matter of fact, go ahead and share it. The more you share, the more extensive our reach becomes. And head over to our website, www.ledfromtheheart.org, where you can get connected with us by subscribing to our monthly newsletter, which we're going to get on. If you've enjoyed this episode, go ahead and comment below. Talk to us. Let us know what you thought. Connect with us. If you need to email us, hello@ledfromtheheart.org. But other than that, in the meantime and in between time, do it from the heart or not at all. We will see you guys on the next episode next week on Saturday at 11. Peace.
Peace.